Yo, what's up guys, and welcome back to another Laptime challenge, indeed in another Vision Gran Turismo vehicle. What do you think about this? I don't like the Vision Gran Turismo vehicles mostly. Anyway, we are in the Alpine Vision Gran Turismo 2017 vehicle. The car is equipped with racing soft tires, and we have to do this one in Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya on the GP layout, at least no chicane, which I think is the best layout of the track. The current world record is a 127.3, and that leaves us at least to beat a 130.0. So let's get out on track, try to do this one, and hopefully get into the guide.
So getting into your lap out of the last corner, you want to be in third gear, upshifting to fourth immediately and positioning the car on the left hand side of the track. Then upshift to fifth, and you need to go to sixth gear, otherwise you will over-rev the car. And then your first brake marker is this black sign on the left hand side of the track shortly ahead of the 100 board. Brake hard in a straight line down to second gear and use trail braking to get to the inside of the right hand side curb. Short power input before lifting and cutting a lot of the curb on the left, then flat out again up to third gear, then lift again, let the car roll into this corner, and once you have this orange barrier right in front of you, go flat out again and accelerate through this right hander. Now position the car to the left hand side of the track again, and once the shadow of the gantry on the right hand side is about to leave your screen, brake hard in a straight line again down to second gear and use trail braking to get to the inside of this corner. Let the car roll shortly and then go gently back to the power and use all the width of the track to get to the maximum acceleration. Then over to the right hand side of the track, and once this big green bush next to the track on the right is about to leave your screen, brake hard in a straight line again, then first gear, go to the inside of the curb, early upshift to second, and then gently back to the power and flat out once you straighten up that steering. Now over to the right hand side of the track again, up to fourth gear and shortly ahead of the curb on the right hand side, again go into the brakes and down to second, then let the car roll into the corner before going flat out in second again, cutting a lot of the curb on the right hand side. Now up to third and over to the left hand side, and at the very end of this curb on the left hand side, lift the power pedal, give it some very slight brake input to get to the inside of the corner, and then early back to the power fully using all the width of the track to keep the momentum out of this corner. Then keep maximum acceleration over to the right hand side of the track, and shortly ahead of the 100 board is a slight post next to the barrier, which is not the fence. Go hard into the brakes and down to the very first gear, then try to keep a very tight line, so slow that car down, and once you straighten it up, go back to the power in first gear, try to avoid power oversteer up to second, then turn into the left. I always lifted over this curb because otherwise I had oversteer, before immediately going into the brakes again, trying to keep a narrow line through this right hander, and then once the corner opens up, flat out again, use all the width of the track, use the curb on the left, then turn in and aim for these cones on the right, keeping it in third gear and giving it a slight lift before going flat out shortly again, and at the end of this yellow line, give it some short brake input down to third gear, let the car roll into the corner, and once the corner opens up, fully flat out in third again, use all the width of the track and the curb, and accelerate to the finish line. And as usual, let's review the lap once more from chase cam. So getting into a lap in third gear out of last corner, accelerate fully up to fifth, and you need to go to sixth gear, otherwise the car will rev out. Keep it to the left hand side of the track, and then this black marker ahead of the 100 board is your brake marker. Brake hard in a straight line down to second gear, let the car turn into the corner, short power input, lifting it over the left hand side curb, before going flat out up to third, lifting again, and then for the orange barrier right in front of you, flat out again in third. Accelerate up to fourth, over to the left, and with this shadow of the gantry on the right hand side disappearing, hard into the brakes, down to second, rolling into that corner, gently back to the power using all the width of the track. If the bushes on the right disappear, brake hard down to first gear, let the car rotate into this corner, early upshift to second, gently back to the power, straightening it up and flat out. Then ahead of this curb on the right hand side, brake from fourth down to second gear, let the car roll before going flat out over the curb on the right hand side in second. Up to third, and at the end of the curb on the left, lift it, slight brake input, let the car roll and early back to the power, use all the width of the track. Up to fourth, over to the right hand side, shortly ahead of the 100 board, brake hard again, go down to very first gear, slow that car down, rotate to the inside, then straighten it up, fully flat out, up to second gear, lift over the curb on the left, before braking again, keeping a narrow line through this right hander, then early back to the power in second, using all the width of the track and the curb, aiming for the cones on the right hand side, lifting slightly in third, fully flat out again at the end of the yellow line, short brake input, rolling into that corner and early back to the power, going to fourth gear and over the finish line to get yourself 2 million credits.
And that's already it for this week's lap time challenge on the Alpine Vision Gran Turismo in Barcelona. Being honest, for a Vision Gran Turismo car, this one drives more or less normal like a Group 1 car, so it was more or less easy to handle and controllable. I didn't expect that, so it was a bit of fun, let's say, at least. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as usual, if this guide helped you out, feel free to share, like and subscribe. And then I hope to see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching and bye bye.